everybody! Welcome to Holmes at Home. My name is Lisa Marie Holmes, and today I'm going to be doing a really fun demonstration on a little project that you can take on around the house. So you don't need to be an expert to still be creative and do some DIY projects. I do not claim to be an expert. I married into a family of experts, and luckily enough for me, I have learned a lot along the way, but I still have a long way to go. However, for those folks who are sitting at home and feeling inspired to do little things around the house, but are perhaps nervous to take on some projects, like my family always says, let the experts do what the experts should be taking on, but there is still room for you to take on some projects yourself and get creative around the house. So today I'm going to be talking about painting fabric. Now this is something that I'm sure a lot of people probably are a little nervous, or maybe it's foreign to them, that, the thought that you could actually paint fabric. We're so used to reupholstering our pieces, but that could be really costly and time consuming. So painting is actually a really great alternative. So for example, I painted this lampshade a couple weeks ago. It's not finished yet. This was a shiny metallic gold, like really old kind of, what's the word? Just, it didn't pop. It wasn't trendy gold. It was kind of shabby. So I thought that I would kind of transform it and use a color that's found around my house. This color is called Sacred Sage, and it's actually one of the 5 paints in the Lisa Marie Holmes collection. And the reason that I collaborated with Fusion Mineral Paint to do the paint line is because all of the paints in the Lisa Marie Holmes collection are actually, they release 0 VOCs, which are volatile organic compounds. So you'll often hear my husband talking about VOCs and trying to minimize the VOCs, the burden in your house, because they're often found in cleaning supplies, paints, a lot of different things. So if you're able to use products in your house that minimize your toxic burden, then that is bonus, great health. So we have 5 colors in the Lisa Marie Holmes collection, and today I'm going to be doing a little demonstration. I got this lampshade started, and then I figured we could finish it together, so that way I could do a step-by-step process on how you can paint fabric around your house. So when I'm saying paint fabric, I mean you could be painting your lampshades, you could paint your leather couch, you can paint your patio furniture. Be bold, get creative, and be brave. Okay, so I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. Hey, Kim and Don, even my father-in-law is watching right now, so thanks for tuning in, everybody. I really appreciate it. Rob, Brenda, good morning, everybody. Well, afternoon, depending on where you are. Anyway, so let's dive in. So as you can see, I already started this, painting this lampshade, and I chose Enchanted Echinacea from the collection because it is Michael's favorite color of my collection. It's kind of like this burnt rose hue. So when you are painting your fabric, you just want to start with a really light dip. So you don't want to put your whole paintbrush in. You just want to kind of, so it's not dripping. You just want to cover your paintbrush just a little bit around the tips, and then literally just go in. Just be brave. Have some fun. So when you're painting your fabric, you want to make sure that you have really good coverage. So it's better to always go with multiple thin coats than fewer coats with really thick globs. So if you were painting wood right now, I'd suggest that you paint along the grain of the wood, but with fabric, you can actually also follow the grain of the fabric. The fabric does have lines that you could follow. So just get in every crevice there. And as you can see, it doesn't really require many coats. That's just 1.5 coats. So I will even give it a little bit more. Just like that. And then as you can see, oh, we have pretty good coverage. So now what we want to do is we want to let that dry. So that is why I kind of started a bit earlier before I went on live, and I just started these other parts of the lampshade just so I could walk you through the other processes. So you want to wait for this to dry, and then once it's dry, like this part is, you're going to take a sandpaper and give it a light sand. You're going to use sandpaper with the grit like 220, 320, just really light sandpaper. And you just want to take it lightly along your fabric. So sorry if this gives people, it's one of those noises that maybe you don't like. Okay. So the reason that you want to sand it is because it's kind of hard to show you. I don't know about how the camera on my computer is picking it up, but you get this little grittiness. So can you see it on the new one? You're gonna get this, the fabric, the paint drying on the fabric is just gonna leave a couple of little bumps. And so you wanna make sure, especially if you are painting pillow cushions or somewhere where you want it to be pliable, you wanna make sure that you give it a light sand and then a second coat. So since we've sanded this down, we can go ahead and give it a second coat. All right, so if you are just tuning in with me, we are talking about how to paint fabric. And as you can see for this, I didn't have to use a primer or ultra grip or anything special. I just dove right in and I just went and painted directly onto the fabric. And the coverage is really, really beautiful. Again, I'm using Enchanted Echinacea from the Lisa Marie Holmes collection. We have 5 different colors in the collection. They all release 0 VOCs and they're super easy to use. So you can do this with your friends, your family. You can get the kids involved if you want to do some crafts with the kids. Head over to Fusion Mineral Paint's website if you want to learn more about the collection and the paint and where you can purchase it. They have a really cool user-friendly, it says where to buy, so you just plug in your postal code and there you go. So this is still a bit wet. I'll sand this one down over here. So we'll wait for that to dry. In the meantime, we have a dry panel right here. And here's your last step. After you've painted, you waited for it to dry, then you gave it a light sand. Then you reapplied a second coat. You're going to wait for that to dry and then also give it a little light sand. Your last step, and probably one of the most important ones that's probably very underrated, is to apply a light wax. Now what this wax does is it creates a really supple feeling on the material. So I decided to go with a rose gold beeswax from Fusion. You just want to take a dry brush, just do it really lightly. And what it'll do, so this is you can get a plain beeswax color that doesn't have a hue, but I love rose gold, it's my favorite. So I figured with the Enchanted Echinacea, it would add add a nice shimmer to it. So you just put a little bit on the tip of your brush, just gonna dry brush, and then you just apply it to your dried panel. And this kind of seals it in and makes it super soft and pliable. And so you'll notice that when you're doing this yourself, the grittiness doesn't exist, it goes away, and then the wax just creates, it's just like it's like body lotion, but for paint. So I'm not sure if you're able to tell with the lighting, but can you see it kind of has a sparkle now? That one compared to, actually I did apply a little bit there. So anyways, so that is literally how you paint fabric. Easy peasy. It's something that the whole family can do if you have a few pieces that you are planning on getting rid of anyways. Perhaps you wanted to have a garage sale, or you found some cool items in a garage sale that you want to restore and put some love back into. Painting can go a long way. So don't let it scare you. You can't make mistakes painting. You can only there's only lessons to be learned. So if you have any questions, please feel free. I have a couple minutes where I could take some questions. Thank you so much to everyone who's tuning in. Hey, David. Nice to see you. Gary, Cecil, thank you so much. Gord says, hey, Lisa, you married into a great family. I sure did. I count my blessings every single day. Honestly, Michael and I have been in self-isolation for the past couple of weeks. And I don't think that, I just feel like I'm with the best person to be in isolation with. Him and I are chipping away at so many projects together, and I'm learning so much. Good afternoon. Hello from Pennsylvania. Hello. Where'd you get the brushes that look like this? Okay, so these brushes are called Stalemeister. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it properly. You can also purchase these from the Fusion Mineral Paints website. They are amazing. I love the circular ones because they really get into the nooks and crannies. So if you're looking to, I'll just keep going a little bit. If you are, because there's edges here, so you want to make sure that you have full coverage. So this brush in particular, the circle brush, is really good for getting in between those spaces, those gaps, and filling them. This is my favorite shaped paintbrush to use. Like, the coverage is incredible. And like I said, the paint is non-toxic and releases 0 VOCs. It's made by a Canadian company, Toronto-based. And I'm really honored to be doing this collaboration with them. And the Lisa Marie Holmes collection has 5 different colors, lots of neutral colors to choose from. I would love to see your creation. So if you end up doing anything with the Lisa Marie Holmes collection, please do tag me. My Instagram is lisa.marie.holmes, and I will share all of the creations that you tag me in. Thank you, Robbie. Robbie says, looks amazing. Would never have thought of doing that. I know this is something I have seen people take photos of shoes they've painted, pillows, backyard furniture, like crazy cool projects. It's beautiful. And then you get to kind of renew it, and it's a great gift as well. People love making things or receiving gifts that were made by hand. So it's such an easy thing to transform, and you can do it yourself. Like I said, I am no construction expert, and I know that there are jobs in this house that you need a pro to do that I would not touch with a 10-foot pole, but you can do a lot with paint. A little paint goes a long way. What about bleed through of the paint? Andrea's asking. So Andrea, what do you mean, my darling, about bleed through of the paint? Because if it's bleeding through, especially of the fabric, Keiko's is relocating, at least in the lampshade, if it's bleeding through, doesn't matter. You can't see it anyways. And are you talking about pillow cushions or something like that? So when you're painting it, just make sure that you're not painting it on a surface that you wouldn't want the paint to seep through. David says, where else can we get ideas of projects to tackle with this amazing paint? Oh, you're so sweet, David. Thank you. Well, head over to my Instagram and my Facebook page if you are looking for more inspiration on different jobs that you can tackle during this time period and beyond. There's always, there's always something to do and something to... The house is like this never-ending project. So yeah, my Facebook page or Instagram page or Fusion Mineral Paints website as well. We are always sharing really cool, creative things that our fusionistas, as I like to call them, are doing. When painting, Gail asked a great question. When painting, the shade, will light still shine through? Yes, ma'am. That is a great question. So you know what I'll do? Once I'm done finishing both my Sacred Sage lamp and my Enchanted Echinacea, aren't those the cutest names? I will plug a light bulb in. Maybe I'll get Michael to do that. No, I'm just kidding. and I'll show you. I'll show you what it looks like when it's all finished. Okay. Thank you so much for tuning in. Oh, I have one last question. Okay, Walter, you have 2